In the 1940s, about 1,200 people lived in Forsyth County, Georgia. Oscarville was a prosperous black farming community with around 1,000 of these residents. The community had a church, school, businesses, streets, plenty of housing, and at least 20 cemeteries, and was centered around farming. Most residents were former slaves or descendants of slaves who owned the property they lived on. Congress approved the River and Harbors Act in 1946. The aim of this act was to boost waterways across the United States. Among these projects was a yet-to-be-named Lake Lanier. It was built in conjunction with the Beaufort Dam. This lake's creation was controversial from the start. The lake sits about 40 miles northeast of Atlanta, and it would be named after Sidney Lanier, a writer, poet, musician, and Confederate Army veteran. The purpose of creating the lake was to provide the growing city of Atlanta with a water supply and a hydroelectric power supply, as well as stop the constant flooding in the area by the nearby Chattahoochee River. It was never designed to be a recreational lake like many use it today. Although the Corps of Engineers said the lake was safe, it is full of debris, like cars, bridges, buildings, roads, and even cemeteries. But to build the lake, they needed to accumulate 50,000 acres of farmland. The families, some of whom owned land for the first time in generations, didn't want to give up their land, but they were displaced. In fact, the government displaced around 250 families, although some say it was around 700. At least 15 businesses, and relocated at least 20 cemeteries in the process. Although some divers have claimed to have found 20 cemeteries with graves and headstones at the bottom of the lake, indicating that they were not actually relocated. It took 5 years to fill the lake completely. Most of the structures, buildings, homes, and roads were flooded and left as is. Since Lake Lanier was created, nearly 700 people have died in the murky waters. At least 27 have never been found, and many of these deaths have occurred under strange and unexplained circumstances and remain unsolved to this day. The underwater surface is apparently one of the most dangerous in the country, and there are constant rescue and recovery calls from the lake. Some local divers say that they've been underwater and they reached out only to feel a hand or an arm. There have also been over 500 boat accidents on Lake Lanier. This is particularly due to the receding water levels and unpredicted water depths, exposing boats, cars, structures, and trees. The lake's history and ongoing tragedies give Lake Lanier a ghostly reputation. While most people, in fact 8 to 10 million, swim, fish, and boat in the waters completely carefree, others refuse to step foot in it due to its history, safety concerns, unexplained deaths, and ghostly encounters.